Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Boys, do we have a weird game here? 2.5-point favorites are the Titans. 42.5 is the total. So, Adam, we have to decide. Are people too high on the Colts because of the win last week and because of we saw, Matt Ryan drop back and throw 156 times in the game and, with no Taylor, they just decided that they're going to be, a run and gun offense or whatever. And, or are people overvaluing the Titans, which have actually a couple of fraudulent wins if you really dig into their season so far? And again, guys, we always say, don't just look at the score. Don't just look at the surface level box score. Dig into the box score, and you can kind of start to decompose how these wins came about. And the Tennessee Titans have a couple of wins that, again, kind of fraudulent. So where do we stand on this, Adam? Is it a teaser leg with the Colts? Is it just a straight Colts play? Is it Colts on the money line, or is this just a pass?
Well, you know who you're asking about the Indianapolis Colts, the guy who's been down on them all year. Now, take that information and weigh it against this. When I do my power ratings, not only do I have my own power ratings, but of course I'm measuring them against other power ratings to see, okay, am I heavier on some teams? Am I lighter on some teams? And I have been consistently lighter than Pro Football Focus on the Tennessee Titans. I am not a believer in Tennessee. I have them 14th overall in my power ratings. And that being said, I make this game Tennessee 4. Oh. And so when I see it at under a field goal, I have a strong lean toward Tennessee. I have not played this yet. I want to see who's healthy for the Indianapolis Colts before I decide to get involved here, because they have a number of guys banged up on the injury report. Kwity Paye might be able to make it back this week and make the pass rush a little bit more effective for Indianapolis. But my lean is to the Tennessee Titans. I'm not going to get super deep on this. I gave it to you in terms of what I have for power rating, and I agree with you that both of these teams have some major question marks next to them.
Steven, we got a super low total, and if somebody came to me and said, I want to play the Colts in a teaser, even though no matter what you feel about the Colts, no matter what your personal opinion is, you're going to get 8.5 points in a game with a 42 total. I'm not saying that this is in your account. I'm not saying this is going to be in your account. What I will say is it would be hard for us to make the argument against, especially with a team like Tennessee, that we know if Tennessee is doing what they want to do and if Tennessee is doing what they do best, then that means a ton of running, a ton of Derrick Henry, play some defense, make you kind of play the field possession game with them. And that's kind of how they get out with an ugly sort of win. So again, not in my account quite yet. I'm not saying that it won't be, but I do think that no matter what your feelings are personally about the Colts, it's pretty tough to argue against an 8.5-point teaser leg here in a game with a total of 42, specifically with the opponent being the Titans.
It's interesting. I hear Adam say that he has the Titans -4 in this game. Matt, you and I were part of the Lions power ratings or power rankings this week. And for a reminder for everybody, we do that based on who we would have favored on a neutral field for this week. And we both had the Colts slightly ahead of the Titans. Now, there's a couple factors here. The Titans are coming off a bye, so they have a rest advantage. And I think we would both agree that a couple spots here and there in this tier is negligible.
Right.
I think these are basically the same, right?
Yes.
So I wouldn't say that the Colts are, maybe tenths of a point better than the Titans at best here. So I've been trashing the Colts all year. And I don't want anybody to confuse my overall opinion of the Colts here, because they lost yards per play to the Jags. The Jags covered that game for the first 59 minutes and 43 seconds, and then they weren't covering on a deep ball. I just think that the Titans are just as bad as the Colts, and I'm not sure that I would ever be interested in the Titans being favored in a game like this. Divisional opponent. If this got to 3, I think I'd be interested in backing the Colts at this point. I think maybe I'm being a little bit too biased with my recency here, but we know the Titans are going to want to run Derrick Henry. The Colts are around league average on the season against the run, but in the last 3 weeks, they're bottom 5 in rush EPA and success rate. They've regressed there. So that's a tick in the column for the Titans. The last matchup, the Titans, 14 of their 24 points came on drives inside the Colts 40 after Indianapolis turned the ball over. And they were outgained 5.8 to 4.7 by the Colts. The Indy was just -3 on turnovers, so they lost the game. So to me, regression says that's a tick in the column for the Colts. Last week for Indy, they completely abandoned the run. So I'm curious if they're going to continue to do that with Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines back in the lineup this week. I hope they do, because the Titans certainly have a pass funnel defense. They're number 1 in run stop win rate, but 21st in pass rush win rate. They're 29th in pass D DVOA, and they have 0 corners with a top 40 PFF coverage grade. So, and the Titans run at a snail's pace offensively, 30th in situation neutral, 32nd in second half pace. So this isn't a team that's going to run away from you and win by big margins here, I don't think, especially in a divisional game here. So I'm kind of on the fence here. It's probably a teaser leg for me. And here we are, our retirement after getting crushed by the Bucs last week lasted as long as Tom Brady's retirement. Here we are back on the teaser train again.
Listen, teaser legs. Look, teasers, it doesn't matter what form. Wong, not Wong, whatever, traditional, non-traditional. Teaser legs have been rough so far this season. So, I mean, but again, I think with this one, as good a one as you're going to find, there's one we'll talk about a little bit later that I think is one of the best ones of the entire season. So, other than that, back either one of these teams, I think at your own peril. It's just
I agree. I'd be interested in maybe like a half unit if we get Colts +3, but I think I don't think we're going to get to that, and I think teaser leg here is the way to go.